Right. Good morning, everyone. All the online students. Is it the screen is visible? All the online students. Could you please everyone respond in the chat window? All right, guys. Perfect. Let's get started then. Okay. So the one we have been discussing about this particular object identification, or we can say that element locators. Our main target to write in a program in Playwright. That is what our final target. So to write in a program in Playwright, first we need to get more expertise with object identification, or we can say that element locators. That is what previously, which we have been discussed about all that particular 7 types of options here, right? So while working this particular Playwright, we got an inspect option. While working this particular inspect option, which we got these particular 7 types of options here, by taking with the help of these particular 7 types of options, we need to begin in finding that particular required objects here. But in that, which techniques need to be get use it, it's totally depends on the tester comfortable. As simple, finding whether the object is our target. Which option we have to use it, it's totally depends on that particular tester comfortable here. So in that, if I go with these particular 7 types of options, we got that particular get by role, get by label, get by text, and then that particular get by placeholder, get by alt text, and then taking with get by test ID. So now, if I go with these 7 options also, not like mandatory that you need to go in a same order. Order is not at all in a matter. For your understanding purpose, I have been mentioned this particular order. So based on your comfortable, based on the tester comfortable, we can go with in utilizing any of that particular option here. Okay, done. Let's see that. Now, if I just go with these particular options, so how exactly we can work with these options? In case of get by role, we need to provide that particular role details. You'll refer an HTML code. In that particular HTML code related to that particular object, what exactly the role has been provided, you need to be get mentioned that particular respective role here. In the same way, you will be taking with this particular get by label, just very straight away in a HTML code, you need to be able to see the label. And then get by text, you need to able to see the text without any equal symbol. Get by placeholder, the attribute itself. In the HTML code, the attribute itself, you need to be able to see that to have that particular respective of, right? So which you need to be get how the attribute itself placeholder, then it will go with get by placeholder. Then you will be taking with get by alt text and get by test ID. Okay, so this is what we mentioned that it will be taking with these particular options. Then we got a locator. If I just go with the locator, we can go with XPath. XPath, any technique within a double quotes, You can provide relative XPath, absolute XPath, single attribute, multiple attribute related to that particular XPath. Whatever that options are there, it can provide any of the options here. And then we got CSS. So while working CSS, you will not be having two forward slashes here. If you're without providing with the two forward slashes, it will be continued that particular CSS. Then we can provide name or ID. That particular name or ID, it will be considering that particular hash symbol. If I go with that particular representing with the hash symbol, it will be understanding that is which it will be taking with, it will be having with this particular respective of name or it will be taking with ID. Okay, so this you guys need to take with the more practice. You need to try with multiple applications, multiple projects rather than one particular project. Then you will get in a more comfortable with this particular object identification. So this is what the first part, very most important, guys. Again, I'm clearly saying to every individual student. I'm clearly saying to every individual student. So object identification is very most important. Most of the time, the people will be giving in a less preference of this and they will give in a more preference of coding. Coding, okay. But this is also very most important. So please continue your practice in doing these particular object identification. Okay. And after this, now we need to begin start our programming concepts here. That is what we need to begin with TypeScript. So once we got that particular TypeScript concepts, we'll take with the help of object identification and then it will be taking with this particular TypeScript. It will combine both the things and then it will be getting started in working or writing our playwright program. Till now, we have not written any of single playwright program. First, I'm making you guys as a comfortable to write in a program in playwright. What are the things has been required? That is what we are getting comfortable here. Okay, right. Let's see that. Let's look into this now. Let's go from very basic level to have an easy understanding of what exactly this particular TypeScript or JavaScript, how all these things came into the picture. See that. If we look into this programming journey, right. So if I go with this particular respective of programming journey. So first, okay, right. First, you may heard about the one programming languages, that is what? Procedure languages. Okay. You may heard about, maybe most of the people did not heard about this terminology. Is that you guys heard about it? Procedure languages. Is that anyone heard about it, guys? Yes or no? Procedure languages. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely. You may not heard about it because these are the very first of the programming languages. You may heard about C language, heard about it, COBOL, or you will be taking with the mainframes. These things you heard it? Exactly. So if I go with these particular C language, and then taking with the COBOL, even, right, Pascal also. Okay, there are lot of processor languages. This is how the first programming market has been started. Before this, also still we have in a programming, but mainly how the IT got an awareness of the people from the C language only, from the C language, C, COBOL, Pascal. From there it has been started. So if I consider these particular languages, learning these particular languages is little bit difficult only, that we have to agree. Learning these particular languages, it is little bit difficult. Why it has been difficult, you will understand in the coming step. Initially, these particular languages are little bit difficult only. So that is the reason from there itself, the phobia has been created. Always programming is difficult, programming is difficult. Okay. After processor languages, after processor languages, we got another one which will be taking with this particular one, OOPS language. Okay, so which we got in a OOPS languages. That is what I will be mentioning, that object oriented programming. Object oriented programming. Right? This is, you guys has been already heard about it. Nowadays in the market, very regularly, you may heard about this particular Java, and then you will be taking Python, and then you will be taking with .NET. This is how there are n number of OOPS language has been available. Even C++ also we can consider, but not like 100%, but we can consider that particular C++ also. So these particular C++, Java, Python, .NET, so all these are working based on OOPS concept only. So once the market has been started with the OOPS, lot of changes in the IT market and lot of the fast growth has been started in working with these particular OOPS languages. So that is where the people very regularly, you may heard about the Java, and nowadays the Python is getting into the more market also here. Right? Okay. Along with this, it's not like after OOPS language, please be very clear. Parallelly, along with the OOPS language, parallelly, we got one more language. That is what we will be taking with scripting languages here. So along with the OOPS languages, we got scripting languages also. Anyone heard about it? Scripting languages. What are the example for scripting languages? Any examples, guys? Right. Exactly. If I go with not Java Python, guys, Java Python is not in scripting languages. Selenium is not scripting languages, guys. Selenium is not at all in scripting languages. See, from the very starting, very long back, we got VB script, Visual Basic, VB script, Visual Basic, scripting languages. After VB script, we got JavaScript. Along with that, now in the current market, we got TypeScript here. Okay, so if I go with that particular scripting languages, we got that particular VB script, JavaScript and then taking with TypeScript here. Okay. This is how lot of programming, other things also available. Just I'm giving the simple, easy understanding of the journey. We got processor languages, OOPS languages, scripting languages. Okay. So that is what which I will be mentioning that I will be taking with this particular one here. Okay. So in the same way, then it will be taking with this particular respective of current market. For this particular current market, these are almost outdated. C language still it is available, but COBOL or mainframes or Pascal, you can consider that these are almost outdated in this particular current market here. Okay. Then we got OOPS languages. OOPS language is not like outdated. This is the most demanding languages. So I can say that these are the most demand. So we got which I will be taking this particular Java and then taking with the Python and then taking with the .NET, which I will be mentioning that I will be taking with these particular most demanding languages here. Okay, so this I will be mentioning that oops. Along with that, even scripting also. If I go with these particular scripting also, we can consider that I will be taking with most demand only. Okay, so now if I go with this particular thing, how exactly we can use it? I'll just go with one particular simple example just to go with the easy understanding. The best example, you guys are already using the Gmail. Everyone is using the Gmail or not, guys? Yes or no? Right. So all you guys has been already using this particular Gmail. So whenever you are working with the Gmail, first you need to take with the login. To take with the login, to just go with that particular login, if you enter invalid username, invalid password, if you enter that particular invalid username, invalid password, is that your login will be successful? No, right? If you enter invalid username and invalid password, your login will not be successful. It will give error message. But if you enter valid your Gmail username, valid password, login is successful. Yes or no? If you enter with the valid details, the login will be successful or not? Right. So it has been successful. That means as a user, I'm entering with the valid username, valid password. Sometimes I'll go with in entering invalid username and taking with invalid password. That means when I enter the data, somewhere the logic should be there. Either is it really user has been entered valid data, valid login details or invalid login details. Somewhere the validation need to be happen. That correction need to be done. Yes or no, guys? Is it correct or not? When we enter the data, somewhere the logic should be there. It's required some logic. Yes, the person is really entered valid details only. The person entered invalid details only. So that logic has been maintained with the help of these particular programming languages. Okay, so that is where we got in a Java, Python, .NET, everything. So that means behind of the application, whatever that programming logics has been required, all that particular logics, all that particular validations, everything it will be getting handled by these particular OOPS languages only. But that logic need to be get communicate to the browser. The logic need to be get communicate to the browser. So communicate to browser, to communicate to the browser, these particular scripting languages came into the picture. That means, in simple, you can understand that if you want to go with the logic, OOPS languages, if you want to get communicate with the browser, scripting languages, because scripting languages can be easily communicating to the browser when you compare with the programming languages. That is where the concept of scripting languages has been came into the picture. Still, if you want to be get understand in a simple way, you can get open any web application, do the right click. Once you done with the right click, you got an option of view page source. You can try with any applications, guys. Any web application, you will be getting with the right click and you will get an option of view page source. Once you click on that, you will be able to see scripting. See here, JavaScript. So any browser can easily, it can communicate it. So that is what it will be taking with scripting languages. So here, the first understanding you have to go is programming languages which has been used to write that particular logic for application. Scripting languages which has been used to communicate with the browser. That means if you want to get communicate to the browser, scripting languages will be more comfortable, more feasible. So that is where we got in scripting languages. Now we are working this particular playwright automation. This playwright automation you are learning by taking with the help of TypeScript. Now, as part of automation testing, as a automation tester, see that as a automation tester, is that you want to communicate with application or you want to write the logic for application? What we will job role? As an automation tester, is it just you want to communicate with application or you want to write in a logic for the application? Is it communicate or logic, guys? Please respond, guys. Please respond. Whether it is correct or not, don't be worried. Just you can communicate. I mean, just you can reply. Exactly. We need to communicate it because as an automation tester, logic means related to the testing, that is okay. That is the different. Here, as an automation tester, I need to enter URL, enter username, enter password, click on login button, click on some other page. I want to communicate with application. Nothing but I want to mainly communicate with the browser. So that means as a tester, our main job role, is in communicating with the browser. So communicating to the browser rather than programming languages, scripting languages will be more comfortable. So that is how the people has been started playwright with the TypeScript got in a more demand. It can be JavaScript or it can be TypeScript. Playwright is supporting Java also. It will support Java. It will support Python. It will support .NET. But even though it got any support, In 100%, 80%. Right? So 80% of the people, 80% of playwright projects are playwright with the TypeScript. Remaining 20%, some projects playwright with Java, some projects playwright with Python. So that is how we got a huge demand and we got a huge market for playwright with TypeScript. So because of that reason, in our training program, we are learning this particular playwright with the help of the TypeScript. But before getting started with the TypeScript, we need to understand. Before getting started with the TypeScript, we need to get understand that why TypeScript. Because we have in a JavaScript is available from the very long back, but suddenly this TypeScript has been came into the market. Why we are giving more preference for this particular TypeScript? We need to get understand that this particular JavaScript versus you will be taking with TypeScript. So that we'll be discussing it and then we'll be getting started in working this particular TypeScript. Let's see here. Let's get started. For that, let's see that. Okay. So we are understanding JavaScript versus TypeScript. Okay. The first advantage and the main advantage with the TypeScript. Okay. The first advantage and the main advantage of TypeScript. This is finding errors at the time of writing the program. That means whenever you are writing with the program, while writing with the program itself, it can come up with in finding with the error. But if I go with this particular JavaScript, if I go with this particular JavaScript, finding errors at the time of execute the program. That means unless you have not executed the program, you cannot get in a more clear picture where exactly error is available. You cannot get in a more clear picture where exactly error is available. Okay, let me give a small example. I'll just show you the small simple example to understand this particular concept here. Just see that. So what is this particular VS Code? Everything I will be explaining. First understand. So here able to see the extension as a .ts. All the online students. Able to see the extension as a .ts? Yes. TypeScript. .ts is TypeScript program. I'm just writing one program. I'm just writing one particular respective program mentioning that which I will be taking with let a equal to 10. I just written let a equal to 10. Okay. Now I will be taking with let a equal to 30. See here, I just mentioned let a equal to 10, a equal to 30. It is giving an error. Perfectly okay. Now, what I will do, the same thing I will be taking into .js, JavaScript. .js is JavaScript. Any error you are able to see in the line number 8 and 9? See the simple understanding, guys. In the line number 8 and 9, are you able to see any error, guys? Yes or no? No, you're not able to see any error at all. But originally it is an error. It need to give an error. But it is not giving any error. When it will give an error, if I'm executing this particular program, at the time of executing with the program, it will give an error. But in case of that particular TypeScript, in case of the TypeScript, while writing the program itself, it has been giving an error. This is what exactly the main difference, and this is the main reason why TypeScript got in a more demand. Because whenever you are writing the program, it is not giving any error, it will create a lot of rework. Because at the time of execution, giving an error, again I have to recheck the program, lot of things need to be done. Lot of rework will be done. So for that particular purpose, these particular people has been introduced these particular respective of TypeScript. And this particular TypeScript also, most of the time, nowadays the people are got confused like JavaScript has been replaced by TypeScript. Always the people will say that JavaScript has been replaced by TypeScript. Not like us. It is totally wrong. It is not like in a replace. If I just go with the TypeScript, I can say that superset. I can say that superset of JavaScript. That means on top of the JavaScript, your TypeScript has been introduced. JavaScript is there. It's not like it has been totally replaced by TypeScript. We can go with the JavaScript or we can go with the TypeScript. But TypeScript is having more features here. So on top of the JavaScript, this particular TypeScript has been this particular TypeScript has been introduced here. So this is what your very first understanding mentioning that why exactly this particular respective of the advantage. Right. So this particular one, advantage of TypeScript and JavaScript here. Your first understanding here. Okay. Right. Next. Another one which you will be taking with this particular next advantage. This JavaScript introduced. Okay. Introduced by group of members. Okay, so the JavaScript has been introduced by certain individual group of members here. But this particular TypeScript introduced by Microsoft. This particular TypeScript introduced by Microsoft here. That means always the Microsoft will have in a brand, right? So this is also reason why we are getting the more market for the TypeScript here. Because in general, always for the brand, you will have some value will be there in the market. Rather than individual persons, rather than brand, lot of difference will be there. So these particular TypeScript has been introduced by that particular Microsoft here. Okay. Next, while working JavaScript, we can say that partial support of OOPS. This particular one, partial support of OOPS. In case of TypeScript, 100%, not like 99. Please be very clear, guys. It's not like in a 99, we can say that 100%. 100% of support of OOPS. That is the reason going forward, whenever we are discussing about with the TypeScript concept, sometimes you may get in a doubt, sir, are we learning TypeScript or are we learning Java? You will get in it that kind of doubt also. Because in Java, not only Java, the Java, Python, .NET, whatever that OOPS concepts are there, all that particular OOPS concepts has been supported by this particular TypeScript here. The another main advantage, because nowadays everything done with the OOPS only, either Java, Python, .NET. The same thing, this particular TypeScript also, they have been given 100% of support of OOPS here. Right. After that, if I go with this particular perspective of JavaScript, it is suggested for small or medium projects. Okay. If I just go with this particular TypeScript, suggests for medium, and then it will be taking with large projects here. So this is what I will be taking it. And another one is, this is having extension of .js. So this is having with the extension of .js. Okay. And this is, we will be mentioning that having extension of .ts. .ts. So in case of JavaScript, it will be .js. In case of that particular TypeScript, it will be taking with .ts. Okay, right. And along with that, okay. So this we got mentioned that here, okay. And this particular JavaScript directly execute the program. Directly execute the program. Okay. So while working with the JavaScript, we can directly execute that particular program. While working with the TypeScript, first compile the program. First compile the program and then execute the program. And then execute the program. So while working with the JavaScript program, so JavaScript programs are directly we can execute it. JavaScript programs are directly we can execute it. TypeScript, first we need to compile the program and then it will be taking with execute with the program. So what is mean by the compile, that you will understand. First, you can understand the difference here. JavaScript programs, directly we can execute the program. TypeScript program, first we need to compile the program and then execute with the program here. Okay, right, done. And then finally, we can say that while working this particular JavaScript, less support for latest IDEs. Okay, less support for latest IDEs. We can say that IDEs. IDE means, what is the full form, guys? Anyone heard about it? IDEs full form. Full form of IDE. Right, exactly. Integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. So this is which we can say that less support for latest IDEs. But if I go with this particular TypeScript, I will be mentioning that the more support for latest IDs here. Okay, so this is what I will be taking with in understanding some common differences between taking with this particular perspective of JavaScript and then taking with TypeScript here. So now we need to start working with the TypeScript. To get start working with the TypeScript, first you need to get complete installation. You need to little bit careful about with the installations. All the online students also, you need to be little bit careful about with the installations. What exactly that particular installation steps need to be done? Please look into that. If I go with these particular installation steps followed by 3 steps here. Okay, if I go with first step, if I go with the first step, it will mention that download and install. Download and install Node.js.exe. The very first step you have to do is download and install Node.js.exe. What is mean by Node.js? You will understand in the next step. I will be explaining. First, you can understand that to get start doing with the TypeScript program in your laptop, in your system, you need to download and install Node.js.exe. Okay, so from where you will download this as simple. Go to this Google and then you can type as Node.js download. Just very simple. Just you can type as Node.js download. Okay, so this particular website, if we go with that particular website, it will be taking this URL. Just you can come down. You'll have an option. Windows operating system, Mac operating system, taking with Linux operating system. Based on your operating system, okay? Right. So based on your operating system, you need to go with in downloading that particular file here. So just this is .msi, nothing but .exe only. You need to get download this. You will be getting with the .exe file. So how you will be having that particular .exe file setup file is see that. This is how you will be getting with the Node.js. This is Node.js, which you will be able to see in having that particular Node.js file will be there, which you will be taking with that particular Node.js here. Okay, so this you will be mentioning that you will be taking with this particular perspective of Node.js. Okay, so now just double click. Once you're done with the double click, it will be taking with the next button, next button, next button, and it will be continued in taking with that particular respective installation here. So here, these particular installations also very clearly have been documented in the PDF file. So while doing with the installation, just you can cross check that particular step very easily. It will be able to get implemented. Very easily, it will be able to get implemented. See that. If I go with this particular step, you will go to this website. You will be downloading .msi. Then you will be getting with .exe file. Just double click on that. It will complete all that particular installation. Once your installation is completed, you can open with the command prompt and see that type as a node-v, it will be displaying with the version. Once it has been displaying with the version, then it will be confirming that it has been. Then it will be confirming that whereas your Node.js has been installed. So that is what it will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? Okay, this is the first step. The first step I will be taking with application URL. Okay, next. Next, install Typescript from command prompt. Please be very clear, guys. Please be very clear. Install Typescript from command prompt. You need to be get install with the Typescript from command prompt. That means you need to be just open that particular command prompt and then you need to be get go with that particular installation. Right? So here, what exactly that particular command need to be done? If I just go with this particular respective command, so here what exactly that particular command need to be done? It will be taking with these particular respective installations here. Right? So let's see that what exactly that particular installation steps need to be done. So first we will be taking with, you need to be get mentioned that, just 1 minute guys, just 1 minute. Right. So this I will be mentioning that, I will say that install this particular TypeScript from command prompt. So that particular command also have been clearly mentioned. That is npm install -g TypeScript. Just open the command prompt, guys. That's it. You need to be get open that particular command prompt and then you need to type it the command. So you need to type it the command, mention that install. Okay, install, it will be taking with -g. It will be taking with that particular TypeScript. So here, once again, your installation is completed. See here, if I just go with the command, npm install -g, you will be taking with TypeScript. npm node package manager. npm node package manager. So -g means global. The meaning of -g is you will be taking with that particular global. Okay. This is your second step. Second step, no concept of downloading .exe file and everything here. Just you need to be get go with in utilizing this particular step. You will mention that install that particular TypeScript from command prompt. Okay. Then you will be taking with that particular respective of third step. See the third step here. This is now again. Okay. Download and install. Now again, download and install. It will be taking with VS Code. So the third step is download and install VS Code. This particular VS Code also you need to be get from this website. Just you can mention as a VS Code download. We'll be getting first URL. I'll just provide this URL. Okay, so we'll be having based on your operating system, taking with Windows and then taking with the Linux and then taking with that particular respective Mac. So you need to go with this particular URL you need to download. So once you download, just you will go with double click. Once you have been done with the download, then you will be taking with that particular respective double click activity. Okay, let's see that everything have been clearly documented. So you are installing with the TypeScript. To confirm that TypeScript has been installed or not, you will be typing as a tsc-v. Then you need to able to see the version completed. Then you will be taking with the VS Code. So VS Code, you need to download it based on your operating system. Once you download, once you have been download this particular VS Code, just double click on that. It will be continued with the installation. Once you have been download on this, it will be continued with this particular installation. Clicking on that particular next button, and finally, you will be able to see complete with the installation. Then it will open that particular VS Code. So here, what you guys need to be do is, once all your installation is completed, once all your installation is completed, what are the next steps you have to do? But you may get in a doubt, sir, what is this particular Node.js and what is this particular TypeScript and what is the use of this particular VS Code? See here. First thing is, if I'm taking with this particular Node.js, what exactly use of this particular Node.js is, we can say that which is used to execute JavaScript or TypeScript programs, which is used to execute JavaScript and TypeScript program. Nothing but equal to JRE in Java. You may heard about JRE in Java, guys. Most of the people already heard about it. So heard about it? Yes or no, guys? Most of the people has been heard about this particular aspect of JRE. So JRE means, which I will be mentioning, that Java runtime environment. If I go with that particular JRE, which I will be mentioning, that I will be taking with that particular aspect of Java runtime environment. Right? So that means, so when you're working with the Java to execute any program, how you required in a JRE, in the same way, while working this particular TypeScript program or JavaScript program, we required in a Node.js. That is the reason first you are installing the Node.js. Without installing with the Node.js, we cannot install with the TypeScript. Okay, so that is what I will be taking with the first option, which I will be taking with Node.js. Then you are installing that particular TypeScript. This is to invoke. Right. Or we can mention that recognize TypeScript program. Okay, so we'll be going forward, you are writing with the TypeScript program. So Node.js will help you that to execute your program. But first, TypeScript syntax need to recognize it. So to recognize it, you are installing this particular aspect of TypeScript here. Okay. Right. Then it will be taking with need to be get mentioning that it will be taking with the next step. That is, it will be mentioning that VS Code. So what exactly this particular VS Code? So this VS Code, we can mention that IDE, which is used to, to write a program and to execute a program. For the purpose of writing with the program and for the purpose of executing with the program, it will be taking with the help of this particular VS Code. That means still to understand in a simple way, a very starting days of IT market, first we have a notepad and then it will be taking with this particular command prompt here. In a very starting days, we have in a notepad and we have in a command prompt. In this particular notepad, in a starting days, in notepad, we are writing the program. Writing the program. Then you will be taking with in command prompt, you are executing with the program. When you're writing with the program in the notepad, it is very difficult to write it because you cannot understand that what is that error, where you got error. You cannot easily understand it. So notepad, writing with the program in the notepad, executing with the from command prompt, it is little bit difficult only. So that is the reason in the starting days, always the people has been mentioning that programming is more difficult. So for this particular notepad and then taking with the command prompt, you got an extension that is you will be taking with edit plus. For the notepad and for notepad extension, we got an edit plus. So here edit plus, you will be having color notification, which you will be taking with this particular color notification will be there. So these particular edit plus you will be having, I mean, rather than notepad, edit plus little bit better. Okay. Again, while working this edit plus also, we are using that particular respective of command prompt here. And after that, for all these particular things, extension, we got an IDEs. We got an extension of IDEs. Once IDEs has been came into the picture, once IDE introduced in the market, then programming has been becoming a more easy and more comfortable. So once IDEs has been came into the market, which has been the programming more easy. Because see the name itself, it is clearly saying that integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. So if I go with these particular respective of IDs, if I go with these particular respective of IDs, we can say that integrated development environment. That means related to the development, already built-in features will be available. As an example, you may heard about that particular Eclipse, or you may heard about that particular one. You will be taking with this particular IntelliJ and then you will be taking with this particular VS Code. So this is how n number of IDs are available in the market. Once these particular IDs has been available in the market, introduced into the market, the programming has been becoming a more easy, guys. So that programming has been becoming a more easy and then taking with more comfortable it will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? So this it will be taking with, it will be mentioning that it will be having these particular steps here. Right? So that is how we got in a concept of VS Code. As part of our TypeScript or as part of the Playwright, we are working with VS Code. So to get work with this particular VS Code, how you need to get start with the VS Code is after completion of all the installation. After completion of all the installation, first it will be mentioning that create workspace. Create workspace. This is nothing but indirectly folder. Workspace is nothing but folder. Okay. So what is this folder? It will be mentioning that path of saving the programs, or I can say that projects. So in VS Code, whatever the programs, whatever the projects you are creating, everything it's need to be get available in that particular folder only. So that is what it will be taking with workspace. So how you will create? Just you need to create. You need to create an empty folder. Empty folder in any of the drive. Any of the drive. It can be C drive or D drive, whatever it can be. Any of the drive, you need to do that. Create an empty folder in any of the drive. Okay, so but don't create on the desktop. Never create on the desktop, guys. Try to create on any of the drive, C drive, D drive, whatever it can be. So create an empty folder in any of the drive and access in VS Code. Access in VS Code. So how we will be access? Taking with the file and then taking with open. Taking with the file and then taking with open. See here, if we just go with this file, it will be having open folder. And then you will be selecting your folder. Click on select folder. This is the first step. So here, which I will be mentioning that open folder and then select folder. Okay. After that, you need to create project. Okay. Project also again folder. Project also folder. This is same. Create an empty folder in any of the drive and access in VS Code. Okay. So how you will be accessing it? See, file, and then you will mention add to workspace. Add a folder to workspace. Add folder to workspace. Then you will be taking with add. So this is what you need to be get ready. So your laptops need to ready with these things here. So for tomorrow, all your laptops need to ready with these particular things here. Once your laptop is ready with these things, then we can start writing our programs. So this installation is mandatory, guys, because the same thing applicable for Playwright also. The same installation. So the same installation, it will be applicable for Playwright also. You need to be get continued with that particular installation. Very simple steps only. Just you need to be get follow the same step as it is here. In case if you got any issues with the installation or you are not able to install, then you can take with the help of the lab support, that offline lab support or online lab support. You can take with the help of that particular online lab support and offline lab support here. Right? So that is what exactly it will be taking with these particular respective steps here. So this it will be mentioning that it will be taking with these particular respective options here. Right? So once we have been ready with all these particular installation, then we are good to start the program. So from tomorrow, we'll be getting started writing with the programs here. But before that, everyone make sure that your installations completed and your systems has been ready with all these particular setup, and then we'll be getting started writing with the programs here.
Welcome to Banking.
Okay. Clear everyone? Up to now, everyone has been clear? Right. Having the questions, you guys can carry on your questions.
Hi, sir. So for this VS Code, can we continue with GitHub or we need to log in with Gmail?
GitHub is different. VS Code is different. GitHub is different.
Like after installing the VS Code, it is asking us to, like, it is giving multiple options, like sign in to use GitHub Copilot or continue with Google.
Okay, then you can continue with that particular GitHub. You can use GitHub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Next. All right, guys. No more other questions, right? So if you're already having with the installation, just you can continue with the same. If already installation, I mean, if already that Node.js and then VS Code already available, just you can continue with the same. No worries. Just cross check that Node.js version should be greater than 18 minimum. I mean, going forward while working with the Playwright, so the Node.js version should be minimum 18. So then only it will be supporting to that particular Playwright. Just cross check that particular version. Okay. Right.
So in a drive,
Yeah.
we need to create two folders. One is workspace folder. Inside the workspace folder, we need to create a project folder, correct?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Next.
Hello, sir. This is Shravani. Actually, yesterday you said how to find the dynamic object elements. For example, inbox 50. Can you please tell me small note? I did not understand for that.
No, as simple. We mention inbox of 50 means that 50, it will change it. That means first it will be 50. If we get in a new email, we'll get in a 51. Then if we get one more 52, the data will be changing it. So
Okay.
there, if you want to find that, it will be difficult. So because of that, what we can do, we can use the technique of XPath with the contains. Contains means what will happen. It's not like mandatory of it has to match with the 100%. Partial it is matching, it will try to find the object. Then you will be taking with, I will be having this contains of inbox. Inbox is contained, then it has to find that object. So that is where we given the example of XPath with contains. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Next. All right, guys. If we don't have any questions, we'll take an exit. So please, everyone, make sure that by tomorrow, your installations has been completed. If you got any installation issues, you can connect with the lab support through offline or online, whatever you are comfortable. But make sure that ready with the installation by tomorrow. So from tomorrow, we'll be getting started writing that particular TypeScript programs here. Okay, and continue your object identification practice. It's not like we started TypeScript, we will not be practicing it. So that practice need to be continued. Along with that, these things also need to be continued here. Okay? Right. Yeah. Thank you.